once again to go out to the other coast of the United States, that being the West Coast, Hollywood, California, and Michael Snyder. He's going to take a look at some movies so you don't have to. Hello, Michael.
Hi, Alex, and greetings, listeners. Let's get right to it. It is the summer movie season already. It started on Memorial Day weekend, and it's continuing with another big-budget, spectacular Godzilla, King of the Monsters. This is directed and co-written by Michael Dougherty, and it's the second movie from Warner Brothers and Legendary Pictures to feature the largely computer-generated version of the giant city-stomping lizard with radioactive breath, following up on 2014's Godzilla, wherein the creature arose from the sea and devastated San Francisco. Of course, Godzilla has been around since the 50s when he was introduced by Japan's Toho Pictures, back then portrayed by a man in a scaly rubber suit as a symbol of nuclear destruction. He became the best-known kaiju, or giant monster, in Japanese cinema and was licensed here in the U.S. for cartoons and one really crappy live-action movie in 1998. Now, these more recent American productions are closer in theme and tone to the early Japanese Godzilla movies and much more impressive visually. This latest movie brings the big G in conflict with Mothra, Rodan, and especially Ghidra, the flying three-headed dragon, a trio of rival monsters from the old Toho movies, and it's a genuine monster palooza. When these so-called titans are on screen, the action is a blast. If only the humans in the movie were as interesting. Despite a noteworthy cast, they are thinly drawn. I mean, here's why the monsters fight. An eco-terrorist played by Charles Dance, who is you know him as Tywin Lannister in Game of Thrones. He gets a hold of a device that can call to or charm or enrage the monsters, and he wants to mess with these beasties to get them to trash one another and wreck the world so it could be reborn anew. The device was created by Vera Farmiga's scientist character, who works for the same monster hunting organization, Monarch, that's depicted in the 2014 Godzilla and the recent King Kong movie, Skull Island. In any case, Farmiga's character has a bulky teen daughter, played by Millie Bobby Brown of Stranger Things, and an estranged husband, played by Kyle Chandler, but they're superfluous. This globe-spanning stuff with the humans chasing the monsters and the motivations and interactions of this, pardon the expression, nuclear family, who are supposed to be the movie's emotional linchpin, confusing, addled, and in the case of the movie's geography, hard to follow. That fails on the script and the direction and the editing of everything other than these monster encounters, which are frankly spectacular. If that's all you care about, this Godzilla is king. But if you want a coherent story along with it, you are out of luck, even if the cast, which also includes Sally Hawkins, Ken Watanabe, Bradley Whitmore, and even Thomas Silicon Valley Middleditch, they give it their all. Apparently, Warner Brothers and Legendary have a master plan to intertwine these giant monster movies into a Monarch universe, hoping for a money machine like Marvel's cinematic universe with Godzilla next matched against Kong. Maybe the next battle will be so ape crazy you won't notice plot holes or the absence of logic. Okay, a better film and a sweeter film would be Rocketman. In the wake of the Queen Freddie Mercury biopic Bohemian Rhapsody that told the tale of the late singer with plenty of his music on the soundtrack, we get another movie about a 70s rock icon with a, shall we say, alternate lifestyle, but this is a star that, as he sings, is still standing, Elton John. Rocketman takes a different approach to its success story, where Bohemian Rhapsody told Freddie's tale in a fairly linear way with the music that he and Queen made chronologically coming along for the ride, and Rami Malek lip-syncing Freddie's vocals. Rocketman is a sort of jukebox musical crossed with a fantastical dramatized retelling of Elton's life, featuring familiar songs, sometimes jarringly out of chronological order, as part of splashy production numbers where they're sung by the cast, particularly Taron Egerton of the Kingsman movies as Elton. And Taron is surprisingly solid on the singing side, and as I expected, strong as an actor. The movie starts when he's a put-upon working-class boy, little Reg Dwight, with a self-centered mom played by, of all people, Bryce Dallas Howard, and a cold, distant father played by Stephen McIntosh. When Reg discovers rock and roll and grows old enough to be played by Taron Egerton, the movie starts to take flight. Reg plays in a local band, tried to see some of his music picked up by a publisher, and thereupon meets the young man who would become his lyricist and lifelong friend, Bernie Taupin, played by Jamie Bell, Billy Elliot to some of us. Edgerton and Bell are great together, and their platonic love for one another proved to be the grounding Elton needed as he found success on the UK front and stardom in the US. Of course, he gets involved in an affair with a slick, handsome, diffident manager played by Richard Madden, again a Game of Thrones veteran, the guy who played Robb Stark. And eventually, Elton spirals into various addictions that become the plot mechanism moving the film forward. Despite the, I guess you'd call it the coolness of the surreal musical numbers, the career rise and fall and rise that Elton experiences and the warmth of his relationship with Taupin get a little glossed over. Nonetheless, Rocket Man has verve and charm and glitz and ostentation aplenty. Neither this nor Bohemian Rhapsody are great movies, but I enjoyed both rides, and Rocket Man scored a little more when it came to sheer fun. We'll wrap up with the fall of the American empire. No, not what we're experiencing every day under the Trump administration. This is a new movie from French-Canadian writer-director Denis Arcand. He's got some really renowned films in his filmography, including the award-winning Jesus of Montreal and Love and Human Remains, but he's still in top form, witty and sharp with this latest, a comedic thriller. The fall of the American empire involves an overly intellectual, romantically hapless delivery truck driver named Pierre Paul, who's trapped in his job because he can't find a good-paying job with only a PhD in philosophy. One day on his rounds, he accidentally arrives on the scene of a major crime, happens to pick up 2 bags of cash, and then has to figure out what to do with the dirty money while rival crooks and the cops all seek what he has. Chaos and some funny ensues, plus a lot of satirical jabs at class systems, the distribution of wealth, and other issues that plague capitalist society. The cast is Canadian with no big names, but kudos to Alexandra Landry as the schnook Pierre Paul. I like this movie a lot. What are you doing, buddy? What are you watching?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing at all.
Anything on TV? I know that Archer is back on FX. I love that.
Who cares?
Okay, that's the spirit that made America great.
Also, good Omens over at Amazon. So.
Have you caught an episode yet?
No.
That looks promising. That's about it, I guess. I'm Michael Snyder. You can check me out on Twitter at Culture Blaster, on GABNet here on Michael Snyder's Culture Blast, and also on Facebook at the Culture Blast page.
Okay, thank you, Michael. That's our movie reviews for this week. There'll be more next week. In the meantime, if you're listening to us 24/7, there's more GABNet coming right up. If you're watching us on demand, go to the show right below this one.